Welcome back, Snapback. We're in a new edition this month. We're looking at amazing vintage Blanc de Blanc from two fabulous growers. Kyla.
From the year 2015.
We're going to 2015. We're going back 7 years.
Yeah.
And we picked two houses that we're going to show some incredible wines. We're going to talk about the harvest a little bit. We're going to talk about what makes each of these producers special. And what you are going to get this month.
Amazing lineup yet again. We've had another container arrive. Oh my God, I walk into the warehouse now and it's like kid in a candy store. I'm rubbing my hands together. It's hard to make a choice. I've been lucky enough to have the Alfred Gratien a few times. Waris-Larmandier is new to me in terms of this particular wine, but this month we are focusing on 2015 harvest. 2015 harvest, we were in Champagne and it was hot as hell. In fact, it was a record year in terms of temperature.
It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, and we're seeing this trend year on year where we are not just getting warmer temperatures, but some more erratic temperature. Mm-hmm. But luckily for 2015, we had the heat without the rain. So we had dry conditions, we had no rot, we had no disease. In fact, we had drought.
Exactly. Well, in some parts, yes, but the chalk, where both of these wines are pretty much based from, the Côte de Blanc, is filled with water. It's basically an underground aquifer in that regard. So there was never any shortage of water. So the vines weren't getting stressed from that, but they were getting stressed from the heat.
Yeah, but what we ended up with is a 20% lower yield, and in some places in Champagne, like the Grand Cru regions that we're featuring today, magnificent champagnes.
First house that we're looking at is Waris-Larmandier. Some of you may recognize that surname, Larmandier. Bernier is another family that's very well known in Vertu. These guys are based in Avis. They have some fantastic plots.
Do they ever?
They got Le Mesnil-sur-Gers, Chouilly,
Clermont, Auger.
They got like...
This is like, you know, if we're talking about royalty, we're talking
land.
King Charles, we're talking, you know, the creme de la creme.
It's great.
Of producers. And I must admit, I haven't seen a lot of Waris-Larmandier in Australia, but whenever we're in Champagne, we see it, we know the wines are absolutely majestic.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a house that was founded in 1989. We've now got 6 generations coming down the line. Marie-Helene, when her husband Vincent passed away, took over in 2000. And then slowly the 3 children have come into the fold.
Yep.
But her son, Jean-Philippe, is the one that's really the driving force at the moment.
He's taken over, yeah, and he's what he wanted to do is sort of put his stamp on it by moving towards biodynamic viticulture and using preparations. I urge you to go to their site and have a quick look at the media section. There's some wonderful things about what that means and how they all do it, and to give you a better idea.
So that's 9 years on, right? So he's taken over from 9 years on, and so that's 2009. Now, if you think about it, they were certified biodynamic in 2020. So 11 years later, they've finally converted their 9 hectares of really super Chardonnay plots. They do have a little Pinot Noir plot elsewhere into biodynamics. But you know what I love about this house is this intersection between art and agronomy and agriculture. And if you look at the 3 children, you've got one of the sons who's an architect, you've got the daughter Inez who is a sculptor, she's an artist. The bottles are all so incredibly beautiful. In fact, Ses Arts or His Arts is the name of this particular champagne. It's a very special, very rare champagne that we've imported exclusively for you. So tip top. But all of the bottles have this beautiful adornment of flowers, which are inspired by the mother's
flower pots, I think, and the daughter then creates the artwork for the bottles. So there's a real lovely harmony between, you know, the winemaking, the vision, and the execution when it comes to the brand and what it looks like. We have had them in the club many years ago, which is the Particule Crayeuse. I bought a little bit more of that for those of you who might be interested in that. So check it out on our website.
But they're all great, you know, and
they're wonderful.
We've talked about this for so long. Every time we go to Champagne, we're like, we love this house, we love this house. And I'm so pleased to see them back in Australia. Well done.
That's good. So we bring you Ses Arts, His Art, which is the wine that we're featuring this month. It's predominantly coming from plots in Cremant and Avis. We've got on the label, on the bottle, sort of tucked down away L15, which denotes it's from the harvest year of 15. It was disgorged in June 21, so we've got 6 years on lees.
Yeah.
But some of the things are, some of the tasting notes I get from this, Carla, and I'm not sure where you're at with it, but I've got this sort of, instead of this bright lemon, which is what I would normally associate, and that chalk with Avis, I've got some chalkiness, but it's really the soft tangerine, mandarin, set eucalypt honey. There's these really much softer, riper notes, which shows very clearly the warm
ripeness.
Year. Oh my Lord. That shit is unreal.
And for me,
when it's hotter, you don't get
one of
that
my
tartness.
favorite things is marmalade on hot bread, marmalade on toast.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of marmalade. I love marmalade.
This is it. You've got both the brioche.
Paddington Bear loves marmalade too.
We adore Paddington Bear. Yeah. But we've got brioche and we've got marmalade. So you've got a real ripeness. You're right, you've got this orange pith and lemon pith and tangerine, and but there's a spiciness to it too. So there's a little bit of obviously oak integration, some barrel aging. There's a real roundness, the spice coming through on that secondary note. But what's interesting is that normally when you see Grand Cru Chardonnay parcels from these plots, they're very linear, they're very austere. There's none of that. There's roundness, there's depth, there's power.
Cremant does tend to lead more that softer, plusher mouthfeel, where Avis is certainly that lean, machine. So I think there is a little bit of that influence, and with that warm year, you do get that plump, orange citrus sort of style of fruit.
It's delicious.
I love it. I really like it.
It's a great wine.
And really easy to drink.
It's dangerous.
Whoops.
So the second wine that's coming to our connoisseurs, and of course, I think for me to get the full expression of the Champagne Club, you need to have both wines. And
side by side, open.
Side
together.
by side. Well, look, you don't have to have them.
You
don't have to have them on at the same time. But I do think that it's important to look at both wines side by side. I have to say that this is one of my preferred houses at the moment. Yeah. So when I'm presenting, when I'm doing masterclasses, even when I'm drinking at home, Alfred Gratien is 100% in my fridge.
It's so polished.
So good.
It's so polished, but they've got that traditional nature of champagne production down pat, and you can't fault them for it, because when you reach for a glass of something quintessential in terms of what champagne is to the majority of people, it's Alfred Gratien.
Yeah, but it runs rings around so many other champagnes that I've had lately. Yeah. I mean, really runs rings. So we've got a house that dates back to 1864. So you've got long heritage.
Yeah.
You've got 4 generations. Nicholas Jaeger is the 4th generation winemaker of the house. In every sense of the word, these guys are artisan producers. There's a craftsmanship, there's a quality, there's an attention to detail that is so fine.
Well, and it's also he learned from his father and his father and so on and so on. So they've just carried on making the same wines, but refined the steps as they go along. So this for me really denotes classicism within champagne.
And they're very unusual in that they were one of the few houses to not stop using the 228 litre barrique.
Yeah, they're barriques, yeah.
So their timber regime is very important to the house, and something else that's quite unusual is that they hold back any malolactic fermentation. So that process of converting from tart malic into softer, creamier acids, that's held back so that you've got a nice tight acid line. So you've got this combination of an acid line with the softness of the timber, and you've got time.
Classic.
And great plots, let's be honest, great vineyard plots.
Yeah, they do.
Amazing house, one of my favourites at the moment.
So what to say, the nose, the profile, the taste on both of these wines are so different. For me, putting my nose into the Alfred Gratien, what I could smell straight away was this sort of gunflint, grapefruit, sort of smoky, delicious, very savory nose. It was very mature, like it's totally its own thing.
But it's delicate.
But yeah, when you taste it, the palate is really soft, really got great acid, really refreshing, refined, clean, tight.
It's like lemon cream.
And everything's in order. Everything's where it should be. You know, it's like I talked about before. Yeah, it's the things that you look for in champagne. It's there. It's all there. And it couldn't be more of a contrast to the first one, which is, you know, a little bit more open and round and rich and ripe and, you know, natural. Whereas that's really quite refined.
This is the 2015 Blanc de Blanc from Gratien. And for me, it's probably one of my favorite champagnes at the moment. It's interesting that even though this was such a generous, such a warm year, plus timber, it's not too broad. I almost expected the wine to be broad on the palate, a bit more generous, but it is silky smooth. There's a softness, there's an elegance to it, which you don't expect. You can see a little bit of that spice that comes through from their timber regime, from the barriques. But it's so beautiful. It's so
clean.
Poised.
It's clean.
So
elegant. I imagine a lot of the oak that they use, and by the way, guys, this is a really good thing for you to know, is pretty much old. It's not gonna provide any oak flavor or any you know, like you would say in an Australian Chardonnay. It's not that kind of vibe. It's actually quite neutral, and it allows the oxygen to do its magic and that acid to sort of soften. But you know, the warmth of 15. And that softness of acid just really makes this wine something you want to come back to again and again and again, you know?
It's delicate, it's beautiful, it's got length, it's got power, it's got everything that you want out of a Blanc de Blanc. For me, it's so close to perfect.
That's lovely. It's a beautiful one. It's coming to you.
So this month we have focused on Grand Cru Blanc de Blanc from the 2015 vintage, hot year. I remember being with our champagne tour guests at Jacquard. And it was sweltering, the extreme heat, you know, and I have seen moments of heat in Champagne, but nothing like I saw in 2015. A record year, still nothing hotter.
Yeah.
You know, and then even going forward, 16, 17, 18, you know, a bit more rain, a bit more tumultuous, but the sunshine was continuous. And as a result, we have tight grapes, a little bit of intensity, generosity,
I think there's
and power.
Yeah, and you can really see that. I think if they were healthy and clean and fresh, they're going to come out in the final product. But I just had a thought. I'd love in the comments section of the video for you to prepare what you think you'd like to eat with it after you've tried it. Throw in just like a couple of dishes. It could be anything. It could be fish chips. It could be you know,
veal scallopini.
Whatever, yes, that thing. Or, you know, a risotto or anything, whatever it is that you come to.
A truffle pasta.
Throw it in the comments below. I want to hear more from you guys as to what you're thinking, and be a great way to sort of interact with you a little bit more as well. And
the pairings, and I think, you know, I love seeing these wines that arrive from France every month, wines that we don't normally have, you know, in our fold, in our midst. And the beauty of the club is that we can access more premium wines, which really showcase the region, really showcase the artisans behind it, and showcase the terroir. 2015, hot as hell, but wow, two absolute knockouts. For all of you connoisseurs, you're going to find the dimension, the diversity between the two wines really interesting. I think that's fascinating.
They couldn't be more opposite.
But they're quite close in style. They're 6 years apiece, but credit to Curie, once again, amazing selection of wines. We hope you enjoyed them both. Until next month,
yes,
we will see you again. Be happy, be social. Come and join us on our Facebook community page or on our Instagram page. We are always here if you need. Well done to everybody who migrated to the new club site. We hope you're enjoying it. Welcome to all our new club members. There's lots of you. We really look forward to seeing you on the next episode because we've got something amazing on its way. Kiri, thank you for another great month.
Thank you, Carla. See you guys.
Three, smile. 2, energy up. 1, action.
Welcome back to a place between the two ferns. No.
Jesus fucking Christ. How's Kiri's hair?
Marvelous.
One is pointing the wrong way. Right, we both sound good?
Still care for me.
Just care for your hair.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what that was. Oh yeah, I forgot about her broken ass last time.
Broken booty.
I can't remember. Oh yes, I did. That's right. Yeah.
You really had no idea what I was saying.
No idea.
She was like,
nah, I have drunk away my memory in margaritas over the last 2 weeks. Like I've got no idea what's going on. Hurry up.
I need to just blow the shit out the tube just for a quick one. And then I'm ready.
I love it. All right. 3, 2,